Hi, I'm David C. Jones, and we are talking about the arts. We're talking about Studio 58, and we're talking about one of my most favorite shows, Rocky Horror Picture Show. And we're talking with Sophie Kane. Sophie Kane, who is in her final term at Studio 58. Hi, Sophie.
Hello. How
Hi,
are
and
you?
who are you playing in Rocky Horror? It's not Picture Show, Rocky Horror Show. There's no
The
picture in
Rocky
this
Horror
one.
Show. Yeah.
Yeah.
I play Janet in the Rocky Horror Show.
How wonderful. Now, were you familiar with the material before the studio set? Because it was like a huge show, it was a cult show, but it has sort of faded from consciousness a little bit. And it's all, the world has changed as well. So some people also find the show problematic. So were you aware of the material before you did it? Or before the school said, hey, we're doing Rocky?
Yes, I definitely was aware of the material. I think I definitely started to come more into the cult fanatics and get way more into it once I found out that Studio 58 was putting up the production.
Right.
But I mean, my parents have spoken about it for a long time. It was one of their favorites growing up.
Did your parents dress up? Did your parents dress up? Did they tell you?
I think, yeah, I think my dad did. I think my dad did. And I think that's, yeah, it's great. Yeah.
Now, for people who don't know, can you do a quick summary if there's someone who is not aware of what Rocky Horror Show was about? It was written in the 70s, if I remember, 74
Yes.
something,
I
right?
think it was about 74. Yeah. I think it premiered 76, 74 to 76. Yeah. Yeah, basically Rocky Horror takes place. It's the journey through, you'll follow Brad and Janet. They're these two college Denton people from Denton, and they are more of that classic trying to keep up appearances, doing the right thing, wanting to get married, and all of a sudden their car breaks down and they have to go look for a phone and try and find someone to help them, and they fall upon this manor, this castle,
Yes.
this castle, and they are enthralled and definitely pushed into the craziness of what is Frankenfurter's, Dr. Frankenfurter's palace and place. And
it's a very special night.
it is a very special night where his creature that he's been working on is destined to be born.
Nice.
This Rocky creature.
So yeah, so he's created Rocky as a sex toy, basically, a sex partner. And there's other characters like the servants, Magenta and Riffraff, and his ex partner, Columbia. I believe there's a line that she references that she was once his partner. And and Eddie as well.
And Eddie, yep, Eddie comes. He was one of his people that he's
a former paramour.
Yeah,
former paramour.
exactly.
And hot on their tails is Dr. Scott, who is a teacher to Brad and Janet, and has an unusual, we won't spoil it, he has a relationship with Eddie that we won't explain. Oh, it sounds scandalous now. So now there's tons of great songs. I have to ask, you guys, are you doing the song Superheroes? Because that's cut from the movie.
We are.
Nice. It's always one when you have the soundtrack, you go, I don't know this song.
Yes, we are doing Superheroes.
Oh, nice. What has been the hardest part about this show? Because there's choreography, there's huge scenes with tons of people, and then lots of little two-person scenes as well. What's been for you maybe the biggest challenge of working on this show?
Yeah, I think with the times itself, during a pandemic, I think that has been a little bit more of a challenge, just because we are in masks, and we are performing and singing and dancing in them has definitely come with a bit of a challenge.
So are you are you using like the N95s, which at least stick out from your face so that you can move your lips, or right? Because
we're using medical masks. I believe for the show we will be using certain N95s and different masks that will keep to our face. But again, it is the perfect show to do
And you can put one of these in your mask. Someone just gave me one of these.
Yeah, definitely.
Stick away from it makes it stick away from your face.
To help us sing. And I mean, so much happens in this show that is quote unquote absurd, or why can't masks just become normalized as well? That's what we're thinking as well. But yeah, I think it's mostly just been that the creative team has been extremely supportive. We've got an amazing, huge cast. So I think that time-wise and just managing all of our cast just coming in together and so much happening at a certain time has been a challenge, but also one of the most beautiful things about the show as well.
Now, at Studio 58, the fourth, fifth, and sixth terms are the performance terms. First, second, and third, they're stay off the stage. You can't do so. So are all three terms in this production then?
This production is the last two terms. So our fourth term productions is doing their Risky Nights productions.
Oh, they're doing their solo one. Not solo one. The build one. I directed one of those. So now, one of the other things about the show that I want to ask you about is because you're students, right? And the school's very good at trying to push you into different directions. You do classic works, modern works, and I guess this is almost a classic work now. But this show is overtly sexual. It's overtly, it's a horny show. It's right. It's like, I built a sex toy. So he doesn't say those words, but it's pretty clear. So are there any rules or awkwardness that maybe aren't rules of you guys rehearsing this? Like Janet sings the song touch me, right? So how are you guys navigating that? Or did Courtney say, please don't make them do this? Like, Josh is directing, right?
Josh is directing, yes.
Yeah. So Courtney said, you can have them do anything, but please don't do this or the school gets sued.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, studio, I think, is a place where it's pushing boundaries and doing productions that do have a narrative that might be a little bit controversial, but under Josh's and him at the helm, he's extremely he's holding this container that feels extremely safe. We've also got an intimacy director and coordinator, Julie Murphy, that is coming in and working with us to make it the most safe place possible, to keep it still paying homage to the original and the one that everyone knows and loves, but also making the narrative of our characters as Janet have a little bit more power in those certain situations as well. And working closely with the cast and crew. A lot of us have been in the program for 3 years now together, and we know each other quite well. So it's a very safe environment, I feel. Yeah.
Nice. Now, one of the things that's also tricky about this show, so maybe has it come up in discussions in rehearsal, is there are some people in our more inclusive environment and our more compassionate environment that we are in the 21st century. The show has come under attack on social media. Certainly the movie has. People have said, ban the movie, it should never be seen again. Because Frankenfurter sleeps, he tricks both, spoiler, it was written in the 70s, you should have seen it by now.
Exactly.
He tricks both Brad and Janet into sleeping with him, so without consent. Was that something that came up in rehearsal at some point where you kind of went, were people triggered?
Yeah, it definitely did come up in rehearsal. It was one of the first things I think we spoke about, and speaking about how we could go about it in a way, just because that scene is so iconic and there is such an audience participation throughout the entire show. But with that being said, it's definitely more of working with the intimacy director. We've made it so that Janet and Brad both have an upper hand in that situation.
Oh, okay. So people who've seen it before might suddenly go, this is not how I remember it.
It's definitely the same words. We've still got the same words. Everything is going about it. Just maybe the narrative Janet and Brad are aware of it and have consented, you can understand that they have consented to the act.
Oh, interesting.
Maybe beforehand, but it's working in a way that still plays truth to the original, but also is a 2022 version, and where Janet can have a little bit maybe more fun with it, and so can Brad.
Nice. Yeah, I mean, Frankenfurter is a villain. So, you know, and he's doing something villainous. So it does become kind of weird if he goes, do you mind if I trick you into having sex with me? Because you're like, well, I'm very villainous now. Now now they seem quite gentlemanly.
Yeah, it's the same words. We haven't changed anything. Yeah.
Nice. And I have noticed the changes in the schools from since I've been there. People are much more free to express their gender identities and stuff. So is that coming into play with the students involved, that they're getting to go, hey, I'm getting to be who I want to be in this character?
Yeah, definitely. I think Josh has definitely made an environment and an atmosphere to bring yourself and bring everything who you want to be to the characters that you're portraying, in any gender identity, any sort of sense, to just bring it to the table. And so I think that this show is a beautiful way of going about that, with that the lyrics, don't dream it, be it. That's encapsulated our rehearsal process and the show itself, I believe. It's a very inclusive environment with a lot of knowledge and a lot of information constantly. We're all still learning.
Yeah, you open in a while, right?
Sorry?
You open in a little,
we opened on February 3rd, I believe.
Yeah, so you still got, you're right in the middle of it now.
We're right in the middle of it. We're right in the middle of the rehearsal process right now.
Right. Hopefully everyone knew the time warp though, because
a
song that describes its dance steps, right?
Exactly.
Oh, they did it wrong. We reinterpret it. We're gonna jump to the right. I have I have two more quick questions for you, because I'm so excited about this show. What was my first question? Oh no, I blanked on it now. Nope, I've totally blanked on it now. Oh, audience participation. So older folk like me are gonna go, okay, I'm gonna get my rice and I'm gonna get my water gun and I'm gonna bring my bread and my deck of cards. But of course, that's highly dangerous in a theater if people are throwing crap at you. And you probably certainly don't want to be called slut during the show by the audience members, which is what, of course, we used to say when she appeared on screen. So how are you navigating the audience participation part?
Yeah, I think,
don't bring stuff.
Yes, I'm still not 100% sure about the bringing stuff, but I do know that it is welcomed to do all of the callbacks and things like that. So we actually encourage that, because it's such an original, it's such a cult fanatic part of the show where people come and, sorry, I've got a dog.
No worries.
Come and speak to the audience and are a part of it and dress up, that we definitely encourage it. So yeah.
So wait, then I don't want to give it away, because this is one of those shout outs that some people don't know, and I don't want to give it away. I don't want anyone to steal it from me. When Janet says he's okay and Frankenfurter goes okay, okay, Tim Curry, of course, pounded his fist on the second okay, and there's a great shout out that you can do just before he pounds his fist. Does your actor say okay, pound his fist, and then say okay?
I am not sure if I can I can say I have the freedom to say, but I would like to say that every fan is going to be happy with what is on stage.
Do you know what you showed up when he pounds his fist?
There's
It,
so many. There's
it's
so many.
and this is the thing is because the actor
Yeah.
might go, well, I don't want to do it. Tim Curry did that and was committed to film, so they could time out their shout out, right?
Yes.
If you just scream, "How do you kill cockroaches?"
Right.
Right?
Yeah.
So he goes,
Yeah.
"Okay, how do you kill cockroaches?" Okay. Such a fun one.
Exactly.
Well, and my other question I'm going to ask you is, I saw it when I was a young person, your age, and I went to about 9 times to see it at the Town Cinema in Victoria. And a couple of times I dressed up. So your game that you're going to play with me now, Sophie, is what character you think I dressed up as?
Ooh.
Ooh.
I'd love to say, I'm not sure, would it be magenta?
No, I was Dr. Scott. I had access
Dr.
to a
Scott!
wheelchair. I had a wheelchair and I had fishnets and stockings. So I covered it the whole time. And then when he gets that for the thrills, I revealed that I had been wearing them the whole time.
Oh my goodness, that's amazing.
And they do the chase scene in the movie, which I don't think they do in the play.
Right.
When they're pushing Dr. Scott around, they rolled me around the theater.
Oh my goodness, how
Yeah.
fun.
I'll see if I can find the wheelchair and I'll bring it to the show.
Please bring it to the show.
Last thing, over to you. Why should they see the show? Why should they not miss it? Why should they risk? Because people are a little bit sketchy about going out and seeing shows still. But why would you go, nope, you don't want to miss it because?
You don't want to miss it because it's one big celebration. The entire time is one big celebration in these very uncertain times. Come and have fun, enthrall yourself. You don't have to, no one has to be embarrassed about anything. We're not dreaming it, we're being it. And yeah, and do the callbacks, come and participate with us and be part of Dr. Frankenfurter's place and experiments. And
nice, come and experiment with us.
Yeah, exactly.
Well, thank you so much, Sophie. I am so looking forward to the show. I'm sorry if I got so giddy that I talked a lot. I just love this production. I'm so thrilled that Studio 58, my alma mater, is doing the show. So don't miss the Rocky Horror Show at Studio 58 coming up February 3rd. Yes. Yeah.
Perfect. Thank you so much.
Are you